Hey Bob, this is Patrick with Loggerhead Designs. Just want to make this tutorial video for you. I know that we've already kind of gone through how to do everything once before, but we'll go ahead and we'll go through and train you again. And you can use this video also for anybody who ends up later working for you, if you have somebody managing the website for you, or if your wife wants to learn how to. This will be kind of a nice user guide for it. So basically, you'll have your web address that you're already familiar with. Currently, right now, it's Loggerhead Test 2, but in the future, it's going to be ultrasignsnc.com/login. And when you go to that website, you'll put in your credentials of your email address and your password, and then it's going to open up to this page and look similar to this. And since you're already familiar with logging in, we're just going to kind of skip over that tutorial part. So how Weebly works is basically everything is set up on a grid system. So any element that you want to put into your web page is all located on the left-hand side. And you'll notice that as I'm scrolling over some of these items, there's a blue box that appears all the way around it. It has an X to be able to exit and delete it out, or you can actually copy things if you click on here. You can move things to other pages within your website, or even copy this element and place it on another page. Um, we'll get into that in a little bit further in the tutorial, but for now this will kind of show you just the basics. So what we're going to do first, before we get started on building the page, is I'm going to show you how to use the Pages tab. So if you want to add a new page up here that will either be one of the main menu links, or if you want it to be what they call a subcategory, that's what this next part is going to show you. Up on the top of the page, you'll have Build, which has all of these building blocks in it. Pages, which is what we're going to go on next. Theme is not really an area you necessarily need to get into. That's more the coding side. So you can kind of ignore this, but it's still an option that in the future I can show you some other little details with it. The store is something that we'll have to do if we later end up adding a store to the page, and I'll train you how to do that. I'll do another training video as well to show you how to manage the store. But again, we'll jump right into pages. Now under pages, you'll notice that every single page category, your home page, safety hazard signs. Down here is your custom stock banners page. These are all the menu items that are going to appear across the top of your website. Now, how we create a page is we simply go up to the little plus sign, we click on it, and we have the option to do either a store page, we can make an external link, so if we wanted to send them outside of your own website, if it was a link to a specific area in the store, which we don't need to go under yet, or if you were doing a blog page, you would select a blog page. But since what we're going to do is we're going to actually create a page, we'll just say standard page. And this is a very important part. Obviously, it just says new page now, so you're going to type in whatever the title is, whether it be custom banners or whatever the case would be. What you want to do is under header type, index is not one that we're really supporting on this website, so you want to make sure to click on this drop down and then just select no header. And that's going to format the page to look a little bit more like the rest of your pages. And we'll go under how you can copy the look of a page. We'll do that here in just a moment. Your visibility, you'll just leave it on public. And then advanced is where if you wanted to enter in your SEO information, a page description, put in your meta keywords, also with just the page title itself, and this will help improve that page being found on the search engines. Okay, and then you just hit save. We're not going to do that since it's a new page, but what it does is it drops it all the way down to the bottom of your list. So what you're going to want to do is you'll actually click on, and I see that you've got 2 pages that you've created. You would just click on it and drag it up to wherever you want that to be listed. So what I'm going to do is kind of show you the difference between a regular page and the sub page. You'll notice that these certain pages are actually offset to the right just a little bit. What that creates is a sub page. And what I mean by that is if this custom stock banners page, you can see up here that it's a main menu link right now. But if I wanted it to be a sub page under this drop down, so it would appear underneath warehouse signs, all I have to do is simply click on this item and drag it over. And you'll notice that the little gray box underneath it realigns, and it is now a subcategory, and it's listed underneath warehouse signs. If I want to move it back to where it was, I just click and hold down on the left mouse button and drag it back over and release. And that'll automatically put it back up here as an option. Okay? All right. So let's go ahead and we'll dive into how you can copy a page. So let's say that you really like, this layout of this page. You want to keep all of the same links over here, all the same information. An easy way to do it is you simply click on that individual page. And of course, this is some advanced information that you don't necessarily have to know yet, but I just wanted to let you know. If I wanted to copy this page and copy every single element that's inside of it, all I would have to do is click on the page, click copy, and it's going to throw it down to the bottom of the list. And it is now completely a copied image of the first custom stock banners web page. So all I'd have to do is click on here. I would rename it, we'll just say test page for now. Click on your back button, and that's going to save it. And now that is an option that's also up here on the banner. Okay? So since this is technically our little test page, we'll use it to show the examples of how everything is put together. I'm going to delete a couple of these elements, and you'll see it's as simple as just hitting on X to delete the elements. And the page automatically reformats itself. Excuse me. So we'll delete a few of these elements, and then I'm going to show you how to click and drag your own elements in. Okay? Alright, that should be good enough. Alright, so if we go back up to the Build tab and we click on Build, it's going to bring up all of our options here again. So if I wanted to put a title, which this is technically a title element, I'd come over here, left click on title and highlight it, and then again, anywhere that I click and drag this over to, you'll notice there's a blue line, a vertical line right here that's appearing. If I wanted to put it underneath that list, it would appear underneath. But since I want to put it over here in the main page, I'm going to click and drag it in that area, and then I just release my mouse, and it automatically places that in there. Once it pops up, you can type in, or if you've already have a Word document that you've typed up something, you can simply copy and paste it right in by doing either a right click with paste, or you can do a Control V to paste it in there. Now, the cool thing about the text field and the title field is that all of your editing options pop up just like in a Word document. I can double click on that and it's going to highlight everything. I can make it bold, italicized. I can underline it. If I want to increase the size or even decrease the size, I just hit the plus or minus. I can also change the color. I can either do like a predefined color, which would look like the other one that you have, or if I wanted to do a custom color, I would just hit this little right arrow and I can drag this element anywhere that I want it to go to make my own custom colors. And you can see now it's green. Okay, now this is a really important thing because your web page is set up with mostly just words and links that we're linking to certain items. Okay, so what we want to do is anytime we want to create a link, we'll highlight the text, click on this link button to create link, and then it's going to pop up with the option to either put in a website URL. So like if you wanted to direct a certain word to go to another website. You would just type in the URL here. We'll say google.com, and just make sure that you click on this little checkbox that says open link in new window, because what that'll do is actually open up the window in a separate tab, and nobody will technically leave your website. So okay, let's say that we wanted that if it said trade show displays, and we wanted it to point to the page that you've created for trade show displays. What you would do is click on standard page, and this one, since you're staying within the page, you really don't have to open it in a new window. But from the drop down, you can now select whatever page you wanted it to go to. So if it was trade show displays, you would just scroll down to, let's see, we'll just say custom signs and printing. And then you would just hit save. And that's going to create that as now a link that goes to that page. So, you know, a thing that we were kind of going over the other day was whenever you already have words here that's created as a link, but you want to change where the link goes. What you can do is you can click into the middle of that word, double click on it, and it's going to give you the option to change or remove the link. So if you needed to remove the link, you could remove it, and now it's just words again. It's no longer a link. But if I double click on that word, I can click on the link button and then enter in whatever the link I wanted it to be. It works the same way if I would have just hit change. It would have popped up so that I could change the words on there. Okay? Alright, so the text field works the exact same way. You click and drag it over, dump it down, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to dump in just some kind of nonsense language here, just so that you can see how the words will interact. Let's see, they call this lorem ipsum. So what I'll do is I'm going to copy it off of a different web page, and it works the same way if you would have copied something out of a Word document. And then I'm going to hit Control V, or you can right click and do a paste. You know, right click and hit paste. Alright, so now I've got all my words in here. I can either leave it alone, I can, you know, copy all of it just by highlighting, right click and copy. If I want to change the format, if it's, you know, left aligned, right aligned, centered, or if I want to have a full line and have that boxed effect, it'll give that option. I also have the option up here to do bullet points, numbered list, or this one is removing the formatting if you want to just go back to the way it was originally. Okay. All right. So I noticed that on one of your custom pages that you made, you had put in photographs. Now, you can either come over here and select image, and you can dump in, you know, individual element blocks and put them side by side or on top of each other. You can do it that way if you want to. And you already know how to upload an image by just simply clicking on Upload Image, upload a photo from your computer, and then you can select, we'll select this Indian image, and it's going to automatically upload that image in there for you. Okay, so another way that you can do it is you can create it with a gallery. So if I come over here to Gallery, pull the gallery over, and I'm going to put it underneath all this and let go, it's going to say Upload Images, and when I click on here, we'll go ahead and we'll upload a few of these photos. And it's going to automatically pull them and upload them. So I just need to sit tight until it finishes uploading, because it's also going to completely format them to the web page. Alright, and there we go. Now we have 3, and they're already uniformed with the correct space in between, which this kind of works better if you're trying to do a large area of links. You can create of images, I'm sorry. Now what you can do is you can click inside the gallery and all of the gallery options pop up. So if you want to only have 2 columns of photos, it'll automatically reformat. You can do 1 column of photo. You can do 3. You can go up to, I think, 10. Well, it goes up to 6. So you can obviously put quite a bit of thumbnails all the way across. We're going to leave it on 2 just so it's a little bit larger. You can adjust the spacing in between them by hitting plus and minus with the margins. You can also go into the advanced section, which you can add a border to the images. Right now the image ratio is what they call rectangular, but if I wanted to change it to squared, you'll see now that the images are square instead of rectangled. Okay. I can also, this is the area where I can increase the space between the photos or decrease it. Okay. All right, we'll go back. The cool thing is you can click on each of these individual images. And let's say that I wanted this specific image that when you click on it, instead of it blowing up to a large size for people to view, it actually is a quick link to go somewhere. So let's say this was a photograph of one of your signs and you want it to go to warehouse signs. You just simply click on link and then do the same thing that we did with the words. You could send it to one of the pages or you can send it to an outside URL. Either one is fine. If you don't want to create a link, you can actually just put a caption under it if you want a caption. But obviously it's not necessary. And what happens with the caption is the caption actually appears when you scroll over the image once it's published. Okay? All right. Slideshow works the exact same way. The only difference is with the slideshow, it gives you the options of, what type of slide feature you want, whether it's numbers or thumbnails on the bottom or none at all. We'll just do numbers. And we'll go ahead and we'll upload just these 2 images. But you can upload, 100 images if you wanted to. Okay. And again, you can see that we have the option to add captions or we can add links with the slideshow. But usually a slideshow, most people just use it so you can, shift through the images. Now it'll automatically play and kind of do its own rotation, or the person can click on the arrows to go over. Usually the controls are a little bit smaller, but since these are small images, that's why it appears so big. Once I click inside of it, I can change the transition style. So if I want it to do a fade or if I want it to do a mosaic between the pictures, I can choose either one of those. Okay, you can also change the speed. So if you want it to appear for 5 seconds and then appear to the next image, you can do that. If you want it to be 3, 7, doesn't matter. And it'll automatically format itself to whatever settings that you put on there. All right, let's see here. And also under like advanced, and you can play around with these, we'll turn autoplay on so that it's going to autoplay. And it'll auto rotate, which you can see it's doing that now. You can change the aspect ratio, the starting position, and if you don't want anybody to have the control, you just want it to, rotate through the images, you can turn the show controls off. Okay. All right, so really the other elements that are over here on the side, not overly important, but we'll still kind of touch base with them. If I want to put a divider between, let's say I wanted to put a divider between the photos and the text field. I'd come over here under structure, click on divider, click and drag it and let go, and it's going to put a divider line in there for me. And it also has its own options. So if you click on the divider line, you can, have it 100% across the page, only 50%. You can see now it's only half. And you can increase or decrease the margins that are above and below it. Okay. Spacer also works the same way. Spacer is just a blank area if you want to have a space between some areas. So we'll let go of the spacer. And all I have to do to adjust the spacer is just scroll down and it'll turn into arrows like this, and I can increase or decrease the space. Okay. It also works the same way if I had it beside of an element. All I'd have to do is come over here and click on the line. And the best thing to do is, you can see it says hold shift. So if you're able to, you hold down shift at the same time and click and drag, and it'll just help format it better. Otherwise, when you click and drag it, it tends to kind of jump a little bit, like you can see. All right. So the other one would be, we'll go back up into the basics, embed code you really don't have to worry about, but a contact form is something that you'll want to play around with. You can use these for order forms, or you can use them for simple contact forms. Okay. The cool thing is when I click in it, you can see that over here all of my options have changed to being elements that I can drag into my contact form. So if I want it to be a requirement that they give me their phone number, click and drag phone number in there. And I can also do an address. So I'll dump an address. And now I have all the elements for an address. You can also allow, if you have different options, you can do check boxes or button options. All these work the exact same way. When you click inside of them, you can change, it says choose any, which is here. You can make it a required field, which all of them you can make required or not required simply by clicking on this. And you can see that it's going to remove the asterisk, so it's not a requirement for them to be able to send the form. Okay, so what I want to do is, obviously, since I've got these different options, we will do option items, and you can change the name of these options. Instead of being option 1, you could say, gold trim, can't spell. This one could be, black trim, and you can actually make it an order form if you wanted to do it that way. Okay, so we're going to ignore that for a second, but basically any of these that you click inside of, you can change what they say above them. You can add instructions, so you can say, please enter your telephone number, and what that does is when somebody actually scrolls over this item, it pops up a little instruction box next to it. Okay, and I can make it so it's not required. They're not required to give me their telephone number. Okay, and you can see that's the little message that would pop up once they scroll over. Once I'm done with that, you'd want to go to form options, and the form options is where you would put in your email address. You can make a custom confirmation message. Right now it says thank you, your information has been submitted, but you can put in whatever information you can. Now you'll notice something, a trend that happens with this website is every little block element that you click and drag over, you can click on, and 90% of the time it has a lot more options to it, so you can customize it. Alright, once I'm done with that, I would just hit save, and now my contact form is complete. Okay. Alright, so the only other ones, you can play around with all of these other elements, but the only other one that's really going to be important, well, two of them that would be important, is let's say that you had a downloadable PDF that was instructions that you wanted to allow people to download. What you would do is you come over here to the media section and you click on file, dump file somewhere on the page. When I click on here, it's going to give me the option to upload the file, upload a file from the computer. We'll do, this was a invoice that I sent. Alright, and you can see it's already changed its name to that download file, and now this gives the option for anybody to be able to download information, or whether it's a photo or a PDF, whatever the case is. YouTube is a really cool one, so if you have any instructional videos, or if you just have a sales video, you can simply put the YouTube video block in. When you click on it, it'll ask you for the URL. So you would just copy the URL of whatever YouTube video you wanted to dump in. Say, the YouTube video of this instructional video. You'd paste it right in, and it's going to reappear this video to be your video. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and delete this page, and I'm going to show you the one last bit of information that is definitely important to you and how your website is set up. Okay, I'm going to go back onto the build. Now that we're on your home page, I know that the main thing that you are going to be doing is simply creating links and images with links. So that's the more difficult thing. You can see, like right here, the way that, and you know what, we'll get to that in just a second. I want to tell you this really quickly. You notice this image is inside of the same box as the text field. Well, whenever you have a text field and it has information posted inside of it, I'll just paste that same gibberish that we had in there before. Okay. Let's say that I had this in here and I wanted to have an image. I just simply click on image, and you notice when it highlights blue, that gives me the option to put an image within the inside of the text, and it automatically formats it. Okay, just wanted to touch base on that because I'd forgotten before. Okay, so we've already gone over how to do links. This element over here on the left hand side, all this is a text field. I just simply clicked and dragged a text field in, and all of these elements were just bullet points. So I did a bulleted list, made the item bold and changed the color, hit return, and it created the second bulleted list. Okay, and then when I highlighted it, simply made it a link that went to somewhere within the page. And that's mostly what you're going to be doing within your web page. Alright, so we'll go to one of these pages that has some of the elements on it. Let's go to, say, construction safety signs. Right now it has a description, and all we did down here is what we went over before, which was just a gallery that has the 3 images on it, and these can be quick links or they can just simply be photographs like we have. Okay, so what you'll want to do is all of these individual items on the left hand side that you already have typed up, once you figure out where you want to send them to, purchase the forklift, you'd highlight it, click on your link, do a standard page to take them to a page that's within the website, or if this is sending them to one of your distributors, you just put in the URL to that distributor, make sure you click on open link in a new window and hit save. Okay, and that's going to make that element a link. Alright, well, I believe that is just about it. It's a little bit longer video than I wanted it to be, but it's definitely going to help you out a little bit. These elements here, this photograph and this one as well, I created in Photoshop. So if you want a new category, just let me know. Shoot me an email at patrick@loggerheaddesigns.com, and I can create the graphic for you and email it or dump it in the page, whichever is easiest for you. So if you get stuck or have any questions or problems, please feel free to shoot me an email or just call me at the office. I'm almost always in the office. You can call me at 910-541-0143. And that's just about it. Once you're done with all your options, as we've already discussed, nothing appears on the main page until you hit the publish button. So once you hit publish, it'll publish it. Alright, and it will no longer say Loggerhead Test 2, it'll say ultrasignsnc.com, and we can click on the link to kind of test out the different things that we had changed. Alright, well, I hope that helps you out, and thanks again for being a client. Look forward to working with you in the future, and if you have any other questions, feel free to give me a call. Thanks.